Ladies and gentlemen, we are happy to welcome you at the 19th Global Festival of the Youth and Students. And I'm happy to welcome here famous French novelist Frédéric Beigbeder. Sorry, there is no sound. And the questions that are now of interest to the modern youth. I'll try to answer this question. I tried to answer this question at the previous session. I'm really surprised that I've been invited to this festival. I'm not really young, and I'm very happy that you made such a mistake of inviting me here. And I'll try to tell the young people something that I would like to hear when I were young, give some advice on inspiration, but also I'd like to tell you about the need to travel, to see the world, get an education. Apart from, when I was young, apart from some heavy drinking and falling in love, I made sure I travel around and try to understand how to become a cultured man. We need to use the opportunities we have and try and satisfy a curiosity. Probably curiosity is the best human quality. Please introduce yourself if you want to ask the question. Switched on? So we have...
Vera Kaufman.
RT France, Russia Today. Good afternoon. Recently, we posted on Facebook. You posted on Facebook a message about censoring. You encountered censoring when one of your books were published. Did you have any problems, any challenges in the social networks, in Facebook? So, are there any limited constraints imposed by Facebook? I would boycott Facebook. Remove your accounts from Facebook. That's the punishment I would suggest. That's what I said in an interview. I encourage everyone to delete their accounts because clearly in France it's unacceptable that an American system, some American platform should tell me what to do and go back 150 years back. These are asocial networks, as I call them, because we have to stay in our individual rooms, isolated from each other, in front of blue screens. If I want to meet someone, get to know someone, it's better to go to a bar and have a drink. One more question. You're one of the known novelists in Russia. Can you explain why you're so famous in Russia? I think Russians are a bit crazy. Andrei Malraux said that success is always is a mistake, a misunderstanding. So probably you took me for someone else. But anyway, it's wonderful that you receive me so well. And all the more so that I'm fond of Russian literature and poetry. Unfortunately, I can't speak Russian, and will never be able to read Pushkin in the original. But in my previous lecture, I did my best to give tribute to the Russian classic writers Pushkin, Tolstoy, Kamsharov, Goncharov, who called us to action. I think this is important. Mr. Babushkin, Networking 24. Good afternoon, Federico. One of the objectives of the festival is to establish new contacts, new friendships. Do you have a history of friendships that influenced your life? You mean people I met here in Sochi, or? For me, a novelist is a child. Is always a child. I don't feel old, although I'm 52. It's incredible that I've been invited to the Festival of Youth and Students. It's a bit weird even, but I believe a writer is always a small child with a detached look on the world, and the writer is someone who probably doesn't understand everything or knows everything. It's someone who can open up the real world for others. And you can be a great writer probably without knowing anything. But you need to see the world, look at the world with curiosity and wonder. Probably this is the big secret of great literature. I'm always amazed by senior writers who are older than me. For example, I've met writers 80, 90 years old, and talking to them, I feel they're just about 12. That's the miracle of and the secret of great writers. Because they remain in their life at a level where everything seems wonderful, strange, unknown. This is important to understand the secrets of life and the magic of life. And I think that you can find this quality among Russian writers. Good afternoon. I'm a journalist from Rafi. What do you know about the International Festival of Youth and Students? You were invited because you're still young in your heart and still inspiring. And I learned that this is quite a progressive event that united communist youth at some point, and I was curious to come and see it for myself. And I like the name of the festival, the World's Festival of Youth and Students. And that's a very pleasant surprise, being invited here. I hadn't known much about the festival before, but the key thing about me is curiosity. And when I were invited, It would have been stupid to refuse such an invitation. Fight against imperialism is it. Why not? Why not? I'm not sure there are many people who support imperialism. I think these challenges are global. They are not national. They are global. There are such problems as the environment, the potential destruction of our planet, and climate change. These are very important, critical issues that need to be discussed together. Good afternoon, Federica. I present a regional radio station. My name is Vera, echo of Moscow radio station in the city of Kiev. Our region has a. So what you said today, that read and become more intelligent. We have lots of young people who don't want to read, not to be too smart, and there are very energetic, smart young people, but who don't have opportunity to use their intelligence. Do you need to control your intelligence to hold yourself back, not to be in conflict with the existing ideology? Of course not. You need to be absolutely free. That's what I believe in. You need to read what you like, to speak what you like. That's the key rule of democracy. If I would like to control everything I say, that would be catastrophic for me. I would go crazy if people would be telling me what to do and what to think. And I think you shouldn't hesitate to read great classics, great books, because we become less stupid and smarter when we read great books. My name is Anna. I represent the newspaper we are publishing here at this festival. And what about the dissipated way of life that is often, what we see often in your books? Shall we enjoy it, or shall we somehow change it? I'm not sure you asked this question. Why you ask this question? Maybe it's because you don't have vodka at the festival. Of course, you need to enjoy life. Without the joie de vivre when you're young, it's too hard. But what do you mean by controlling yourself, by controlling your life? Interestingly, this is a Russian newspaper, but the front cover is in English. Why is that so? Maybe you would explain that to me. Well, it's an international festival. My question is not about the newspaper, but about life in general, about the young people. Because probably the young people live now as you described it in your Egoist Romantique. So is that something to enjoy or something to correct? You mean this self-destructive lifestyle of the young people? That has always existed, of course. At this festival, we are talking about the great aspirations, ideals of the young people. It's always hard to be a teenager or to go through the process of changes in your body and becoming a man or a woman. There are lots of dreams that would be broken, and it's difficult to go through this process and become mature and older in the end. Yeah, we could. Yeah, we can say that young people are yet to. There is room for improvement. There is. They need to overcome their disappointments. And I think the creative people need to remind people that this is a really hard age, a really hard time for the young people to find work, for example, find employment. Even looking at those robots around us, they're going to take up lots of jobs that would otherwise be accessible to the young people. In 30 years from now, probably in 2047, perhaps, I would be talking to robots. And Mark Zuckerberg, who would be the president of the planet, he would be a special guest who would press the button and would bring a jet for me. Maybe that would happen in 30 years. Well, I think there would be an opportunity to check this scenario in 30 years, but we don't have much time now. We'd have to no more time for questions. We'll continue our communication with you through novels, through books, and thank you very much.